Here on my channel, I talk about my good and bad experiences in Hollywood, working as an entertainment reporter, and as you know, a lot about Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni.
The legal landscape surrounding Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni has taken a drastic and unexpected turn, highlighting the chaotic and often contradictory world of high-profile celebrity lawsuits. At the heart of the controversy is Lively's evolving narrative, where she initially positioned herself as the target of a coordinated smear campaign allegedly orchestrated by Wayfair and its affiliates. This claim formed the backbone of her legal argument, portraying her as a victim of targeted defamation. However, in a stunning development during her recent deposition, Lively was forced to walk back the central theme of her case, admitting that the so-called smear campaign she referenced was based on redacted, ambiguous evidence, so vague in fact, that it could not hold up under legal scrutiny. Her admission unraveled the meticulously built narrative and exposed glaring inconsistencies in her allegations. Lively's sudden pivot during the deposition shook the foundation of her entire legal strategy. Previously, she had pointed to a network of digital attacks and alleged media manipulation as part of a broader orchestrated character assassination effort. However, under the intense pressure of questioning by Brian Friedman, Baldoni's powerhouse attorney, Lively acknowledged that she lacked clear, first-hand knowledge of any ongoing smear campaign beyond those vague and heavily redacted documents. The legal implications of this admission are monumental. Redacted evidence, while legally permissible in certain situations, creates a fog that undermines the clarity and impact of a case. Without concrete, verifiable proof, Lively's allegations teeter on the edge of hearsay and speculative accusation. Her case, once driven by emotionally charged claims, now struggles to stay afloat amid the hard requirements of legal evidence. Adding fuel to the fire is the controversial method through which Lively's team allegedly obtained some of their information, reportedly via a fake subpoena routed through a shell corporation. This revelation has raised serious ethical questions about the integrity of her legal maneuvering and has prompted critics to question whether her team has crossed professional boundaries in their quest to prove her victimhood. If true, the implications could be severe, not just for Lively's credibility, but for her legal standing as well. Unlawful acquisition of evidence can not only lead to its exclusion from proceedings but could also open the door to sanctions or counter-litigation. Meanwhile, public support for Baldoni has been growing. High-profile figures, including James Brolin, father of Josh Brolin and a respected Hollywood veteran, have come forward in his defense. Brolin lauded Baldoni's character, creativity, and professionalism, adding a layer of public trust to Baldoni's image, which Lively's accusations had attempted to tarnish. Brolin's endorsement, especially his praise for Baldoni's work in film, literature, and youth advocacy, presents a powerful counter-narrative to Lively's portrayal of him as a manipulative aggressor. The situation escalated further when it became apparent that the New York Times, along with other major media outlets, had allegedly received information directly from Lively's team before Baldoni's legal representatives were even given a chance to respond. This raises ethical concerns about media manipulation and the fairness of public discourse surrounding the case. When major media channels appear to be leveraged for strategic advantage, the lines between journalism, public relations, and legal warfare begin to blur. The coordination between Lively's legal team and select journalists could be seen as a form of trial by media, a dangerous trend that undermines due process. And then there's the issue of the subpoenas targeting content creators. These individuals, many of whom simply reported on the case or shared commentary, have found themselves caught in a legal crossfire they never anticipated. The subpoenas, criticized by legal analysts and fellow creators alike, are perceived as an intimidation tactic designed to stifle dissent and discourage critical coverage. This tactic has drawn ire from a range of voices, including prominent legal commentator Emily D. Baker and others, who have labeled it a terrible strategic misstep that could backfire spectacularly. Rather than strengthening Lively's case, these aggressive legal moves have painted her team as vindictive and tone-deaf to the broader implications of their actions. Blake Lively's shifting legal narrative took another twist when her team abruptly pivoted away from Wayfair and redirected their focus toward Brian Friedman, accusing him of post-litigation defamation. This shift, highlighted in a letter from Kevin Fritz, Justin Baldoni's attorney, indicates a desperate scramble to salvage a crumbling case. When a legal strategy undergoes such a dramatic transformation, it often signals that the original claims are no longer sustainable. In Lively's case, moving the target from an alleged smear campaign to post-litigation statements suggests a reactive and improvised legal approach. It's a last-ditch effort to stay relevant in a case where the credibility of the original claims has all but collapsed. At the core of the backlash is a fundamental frustration shared by many observers. when a person faces serious accusations and attempts to defend themselves, that defense is now being rebranded as a smear. It's a troubling precedent, one where exercising a legal right to protect one's name and reputation is recast as aggressive retaliation. This interpretation flips the justice system on its head. In Baldoni's case, his countersuit and public defense are being used against him as evidence of wrongdoing, despite being legally and ethically justified. As more information emerges, the broader implications become even clearer. This case is no longer just about Lively and Baldoni. It's about how celebrity, media, and the legal system intersect in a volatile cocktail of reputation, power, and manipulation. It's a cautionary tale of what happens when public narratives overtake legal substance, and when emotional appeal attempts to substitute for hard evidence. The consequences of these tactics could ripple far beyond the courtroom, influencing how future cases are litigated, reported, and perceived. At this point, many are left asking the same question: what exactly is Blake Lively hoping to achieve? With the core of her original argument eroded, and her legal team now entangled in a defamation battle that raises more questions than answers, the path forward is uncertain. But one thing is clear: in the court of public opinion and the actual court of law, consistency, clarity, and credibility matter. And right now, Blake Lively's legal campaign is struggling on all three fronts.